trying to make me cry in front of everybody, man?
Yeah, that's the point.
One word of advice. Buy TV, don't spend it on hooker.
Super Russ. I'm the last character on my Justice League team with these four babes. Yo, guys, what's up? We are back with episode 47 of It's Simply Super. Today we are doing the Only Faces chat in homage to Bub's Comics, who was in the chat early tailgating. Don't know if he stuck around.
He definitely didn't stick around.
And what's up, Troy? How's it going, man?
Troy?
Thanks for popping in.
So we did this before, right?
Yeah, but we did the I think it was called the Zero Faces chat.
Yeah.
Because the thumbnail was just like your hair and my goatee when I had a goatee with like no faces.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did we do one with no faces?
Yeah.
It's very good. Very good. You also could have called it Simply Super Resurrection because your computer's back.
Yeah. For hopefully more than just a limited time.
No, the factory reset should help a little bit. It'll still be slow because it's still, what is it, a 5-year computer or 5-year-old computer? That. But yeah, factory reset always helps.
Bub stuck around. What's going on, man? If you want to hop in and join us, Bubs, let us know, and I'll send you the link on Instagram, man.
Any other news, mate? You drank any weird drinks recently?
No, nothing that compared to the cheese coffee drink you had in your video, man.
That was
that looked I don't know, man.
I actually went back for it, right? So as we left the place, I noticed it up on the menu, and I was like, a cheese coffee shake. That sounds interesting. But like there's like, you know, bubble tea. You know what that is?
Yeah, I've heard of it. I've never tried it, but I've heard of it.
There's some bubble tea places that do like these cheese ones, but it's like a foamy sort of cheese. It's kind of sweet. It's almost like a cheesecakey sort of sweetness, right? So that's pretty good. So that's what I thought it was going to be. And then I went back there later to order it, and you have to order it on like a tablet. So like I selected the picture. I didn't realize that there was actually a slice of cheese hanging out of the drink. So
I know I looked wild when I saw the picture on Instagram.
Yeah, so for those who didn't catch it, there is a cheese coffee shake. There's cheese sprinkles on it. I was very nervous when I actually ordered it. I was like, you know what? Yeah. I didn't notice the slice of cheese the first time around. But I was like, you know what? I've committed to this. Let's do it. And it was right. You didn't taste the cheese. So.
You'd think it would have been like I don't know, like a cream cheese type thing or something, like on a cheesecake. Yeah,
they did put some of that at the top as well. Like they used some sort of liquidy sort of cheese, but I couldn't taste that either. It was just like tasted like a coffee ice cream sort of taste. So, what's going on, Tim?
What's up, Tim?
So, but yeah, you know, gotta try new things, mate.
Yeah, I don't know about that one though, man.
Would you have eaten the burger? Did you see the burger I got?
I watched the video. I can't remember if the burger was in the video or not.
Yeah, the burger was good. The burger was like did I take a photo? There you go. Oh, it's not very appetizing because I've taken bites out of it, but it's got a beef patty and pulled pork as well. Whew.
Why did the bread look like totally burnt, man?
It's like what color is it? Is that?
It looks black.
They use like colored buns for some of their burgers.
Okay.
Like
it looked like it'd been on the grill too long, man.
They do. You haven't seen that before? Colored buns. There's like purple ones.
No,
they do a green one. There's like a mushroom burger they do. And it's got a green bun. I didn't realize it was. I've
seen like the spinach like green tortillas and stuff, but I've never seen the buns like that.
Yeah.
It looks like we got the man himself backstage. I believe
been
for
a
the
while since
first
we had a
time
guest.
ever on it, Simply Super. with
Well,
Bub's
Grey Man, I
Comics.
think is. Oh no, we've had some other guests in the early days. We had
Yeah,
some
we've
guests.
had Gray Man been on the show, but I don't think Bub's ever been on the show before.
No, he was never invited.
I figured since we were like basically knocking off his show, except with
Well, we're
faces.
not really knocking it off. We're doing the complete opposite.
All right, Simon, you don't want me to join? I'll leave. I see how it is. What's going on, guys? Sorry for the bad camera angle. I'm working still.
Oh, doing the work at home thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I've never noticed the slabs at the top from this angle.
Yeah, everything looks a little bigger from this angle.
No, but like you normally don't see those ones at the very top there.
Yeah, I know. I should change my camera angle because like people that have come to my lair here are like, man, you should totally change your desk around and show all this off in the background of your videos. And I'm like, yeah, but then it's tough. You make people jealous and they all want to be your friend. And I'm really not that friendly when it comes down to it. So.
You got that nice up nose angle going. Kind of the opposite of every woman that takes photos on Instagram.
Yeah, it's always going to be from up. That's right. That's how you do it. That's why when I got my webcam, now I look down at me. It used to be looking up at me with my laptop. But yeah.
Well, at some point I'll have to have the two of you on one of my channels.
I can only do it once every 3 weeks, and this was the week actually. But I was busy this week.
I actually prefer the no faces chat because I don't have to like get dressed or anything.
Oh, now you know. Russ has been naked every time he's done a no face.
I've always assumed it anyway.
I never have a good, like, everyone sets up their no faces thing really well, and mine's like literally I just put the camera in front of me facing, like, my background looks real bad when I've done the no faces. So,
I just like I set it up usually in front of the comic wall.
yeah, at least that looks good. Yeah, I should do more no faces video. When I did my top 50 and I did no face just showing the books, I think that's better. I have no face if you just show them books.
Well, I think, you look good, so it's not a problem. I think Russ should do more no faces. You maybe should have a few more faces chats.
When I do the like the video game stuff and the superhero stuff, I'm usually like not on camera.
You need to be there, man. I'm telling you, you got to start doing the Twitch in the Batman outfit. The reason I haven't done my Twitch streams recently is because like I've been wanting to do a comeback to it, but I can't find my Red Hood mask, and I'm really stressing out about it.
Find it.
Where do you think it is?
I'm guessing I pulled it out for like a random stream one day, and I just didn't put. I have a box with all those things in there, and it's not in there. So, and I used to always do my Twitch streams wearing a mask. And I've got a Spider-Man one, but the lenses fog up constantly, so it's annoying when I'm playing games and all of a sudden I can't see. So
that happens with the Batman mask I have because
that's because you wear
my glasses under it.
So you can't see if you didn't wear your glasses, you can't see the TV screen at all.
No. If I take my glasses off, I can't see the computer screen, and it's like this far in front of me.
Yeah, there was someone at
So
work.
did you do a factory reset on your laptop and it's back running?
Yeah, it's still running slow, but at least it's running.
Fixes everything, mate.
Cool.
Like literally every time we have people with a fault on their computer, we send it to the bloody manufacturer. All they do is do a factory reset and send it back. Yeah, it's fine now.
So, luckily, I didn't have anything on the computer to lose because like all the YouTube stuff is on my phone, so I didn't have to worry about losing anything.
You didn't have like photos or music or anything like that?
No. I keep everything on the phone. I got a little 32 gigabyte SD card for it.
32 gigabytes?
Yeah.
Hey,
The
every
64 gigabyte was like $18, man.
probably
The
about
32 was only like $10.
about 2 or 3 times a year, I fill up my laptop with all my videos. And this is not like the videos that I create automatically save in the cloud, but the actual project. So with all the cutting and all that, which I like to keep if I need to refer back to, all that stuff builds up. So after once it gets up to about 300 to 400 gig, I've got to copy it off onto
Oh yeah.
like an SSD
With
drive.
mine,
And
like
lucky,
the YouTube videos, I only save for about a month in case I want to pull a certain clip out of one of them or something. And then after that, I usually just delete
I
them.
used to delete in the beginning. I didn't know how to remove, like, back up the projects. So I used to, so some of my early vids I had to delete, but it sucks because if I want to refer back to it, I can't just take it from the video because the video will have music in the background and it kind of sounds crap, which I've had to do a couple of times. I prefer just to get the clip without the background music and everything. So,
What's up, Gray Man?
it's been a while since we did a battle of any time. We need to get back on those, Russ, when we used to have like bring in judges and things. But that involves too much work, right?
Yeah, the good old cover pictures.
Yeah. It involves a bit too much work.
Or the comic book category.
Surely there's other stuff we haven't stolen yet.
Yeah, there's got to be something. Some show we can pay homage to.
Oh, you guys could do the comic book community awards. You haven't homaged that yet, and that just came out. So you could do like a quick one on that, and do just like terrible categories, and the worst, most ill-fitted winners of all of them.
We could call it the comic book Oscars or the Comic Book Academy Awards.
There you go. Yeah.
Did you watch that?
A bunch of people mad at us.
Yeah, it was interesting, wasn't it? It was interesting because
I missed the last hour of it because I fell asleep, man. I was exhausted.
Like Reggie cleaned up, and some of the categories I was just like obviously people have big fan bases, and all their fan base will vote for them. So there was like certain channels that were just dominating, where I don't feel like they really even necessarily justify being in the category. Like, I watch some Reggie and he can be entertaining, but I don't know if you put him in the most entertaining creator because his videos are more serious. He talks about spec, he talks about collecting and things like that. And I've seen him do some funny stuff, but like overall, I wouldn't call his channel necessarily like entertaining. It's more of an informative channel. So I found that interesting. But it was interesting to see also people in the chat cracking the shits about it. And then Circumstances comes on later and he's like, you guys know this works on the most votes, right? So if these guys got the most votes, then they're the winner.
Well, I think that ultimately is the problem with the whole format. Now, I like Brian a lot. Like, I think he's a super cool guy. I think it's neat that he's doing it and it gives him content. And, so I'm a Brian supporter. But I got to tell you, I like his channel better than 90% of the people who won the other categories. I find him more entertaining, if you will, and more informative than a lot of the people that won other categories.
Myself, I generally don't watch the bigger channels because I've never really cared about spec or anything like that. So I don't really watch those channels.
Well, it's not necessarily all like Reggie will talk about just like collecting in general. So a lot of it is kind of, I guess, advice sort of stuff, which can be good. But I think Brian can fall into that category of entertaining because he does like to do those little skits and things like that as well.
For sure.
And he has like really cool review videos too for comics.
I mean, the award show itself is more entertaining than anything I've seen on whoever it was that won the most entertaining channel.
He put a lot of effort into it, like his top 10 lists and you know his little green screen, even wearing the shirt suit. It was all
I gotta say though, man, I thought for sure you were gonna win best hair, Simon.
Yeah,
or
well, again,
tie-offs.
Bronze
How about-
Age is a big channel. Bronze Age is a big channel,
Yeah.
and he's obviously
I
got.
think
know-
they should have had like hair and beards.
Yeah, but you know what? To be honest,
categories.
I didn't even. I was like, out of all categories that I could have been nominated for, I'd rather be known for something else than having the best hair. So, and the hands. Did you see? The video that? So Brian asked people to make like a little, like video just to sort of promote yourself, I guess, for the best hair thing. I might have been the only person who did it because he played like all the nominees, and it was just like a shot of them in slow motion slowly from one of their streams or something. And then it cuts to me, and I did a full edited video of me doing slow motion hands and me with the hair blowing in the wind. And then it cuts out to me holding a hairdryer. Like, yeah, I think I was the only one who did it.
and it didn't work. Now, had it worked, you'd have been saying, "Hey, that's why I won because I did it. Nobody else cared."
When
And
you
then
watched
didn't
it,
win.
you would have thought that I'd won with the effort that, like, because it just showed
Right.
them all randomly, and then me having this epic little like feature almost. Louis, what's going on, mate? See, Louis, he's an entertaining channel. He does a lot of skits. Man, the thing I watched him on Instagram last night with the box that transforms things into first prints, like that was hilarious. I laughed a lot in that at the end when a slab comes out. Did you catch that, Russ?
No, I missed the end of it.
No, like the Louis posted the video. I think it was from one of his videos where he's got like this box and he puts like the second and third prints in, and that turns them into first prints. And man,
I
at
need
the
to
end, he
check
puts
that
a
out. I
book in.
haven't seen that yet.
At the end, he puts like a foreign version of a book, and he turns it into a slab. It's very good.
I'm gonna have to check that out. Is my audio okay? My camera
Yeah.
keeps cutting out on me.
Yeah, you
Okay.
sound good.
Yeah,
I mean, here's the thing. The problem with the whole format of that show, or the premise of that idea, even though it's fun to have everyone vote, the key word there is community. Like, that's the key word.
Yeah.
Because the rest of it is fairly obvious. Who's the most popular channel? Well, who has the most subscribers? That's the most popular channel. You know, what's the most popular show? Well, okay, take all these shows that have been nominated by community members and then just look at who got more views. That's the more popular show. Like, the numbers are already giving you the answers to all these things before we get that far. So the only caveat there is community, and that means, well, who's the one voting for it? Who's the one, what are you calling the community? Who's part of the community? Who isn't? And how do you define that? Which is not very clearly defined. And at that point, that's where it just ends up defaulting back to whoever has the more popular channels.
Yeah.
And not that it shouldn't be that way. I'm just saying that's unless the word and term community is more closely defined to where not just anyone who makes comic book content is part of the community. I mean, some people are more engaged than others. And so maybe there's some metric of engagement that you can add to it. But if you're not doing any of that, then you might as well just look at the numbers. And we already all know who's going to be at the top of those lists. Like, it hasn't changed. It's probably not gonna very much unless someone new shows up. So
Yeah.
I
I did like that he put like new channel categories in there to shine some light on some of the newer channels. That was cool.
It's funny that this year he added tiers, so there was like the 100 to 999, and then 1,000 to 5,000. So I just hit 1,000 this year, so I'm like, oh great! Now I'm in there with the big boys. Like a 1,000 subscriber channel compared to a 4,000 to 5,000. It's a big. Like, when you've reached above 3,000.
Yeah, I think 3,000 is the mark. That is definitely the mark.
Because 1,000, like, there's a lot of channels that have 1,000, but to stretch beyond 2, 3, that's when your channel's starting to get.
Yeah, I call it the sellout tier. So once you get, and I don't mean that wrong. I mean, the channels we've mentioned so far are running their channels as a business. Yeah. And if you've ever had any interaction with them outside of on air, then you'll find out that they're running businesses. And especially if you're someone like me, who is not running a business.
Grayman is definitely an anomaly because but Grayman's been doing this before.
Yeah, Gray Man was here from the day
Yeah,
one.
but it's also not his comic book content that gets him the most of those views. That the comic book content that Gray Man puts out is like a caveat to his regular subscribers who are not watching his comic book content.
Yeah, because he blew up from his reaction videos.
Yeah, his reaction, his old metal head reacts or whatever he calls it. Yeah. So I mean, there's going to be some anomalies in there, but in general, I think that the 3,000 and above are people who are making money off their channel on purpose, not just collecting YouTube royalties every now and then, but they're actively leveraging their channel and their subscribers to make money. Yeah. And that's a different, to me, that's a different group. And personally, I feel like that generally takes them out of the community as well. Once you start using your channel specifically to make a living, not just to make a little side money, but to make a living at it, you're trying to really blow it up, and you're doing these deals with comic shops, and you're doing deals with distributors, and you have sponsored videos, and people are sending you stuff to review. And not just I've been sent stuff to review too, but I'm talking expensive stuff, a couple of $100 worth of stuff to take a look at. Once you're in that group of stuff, to me, that's the sellout tier. And, and not a bad, I'm not saying selling out's a bad thing, but that's what you've done. And what are you selling? Well, you're selling your influence and you're selling your subscribers. So at that point, I think that takes you out of the community. When I go to a comic convention, the people that are on the floor are my peers. We're part of the comic community. But the people who are selling and distributing are generally not part of the comic community. They're part of the comic industry. They're making money off comics and off people who like comics. So I'm sorry to be so controversial on your channel, Russ.
Did you see, Russ, what Gem Mint's giving away?
No.
He's giving away a PlayStation 5 because he hit 10K when he hits 10K on Whatnot or something.
I don't even have Whatnot.
Just get on that giveaway, mate. PS5.
No,
come back.
I ain't worried about
the PlayStation side.
PS6 is supposed to be coming out in 2028. I'll be able to find a PS5 by then.
What is it?
I've heard rumors of a PlayStation 6 in 2028. Oh, okay. Yeah. So I'm thinking PS5 should be pretty readily available by then.
There's a lot of channels though that are bigger that you'll still see. I always use Bueller as an example. You'll see him show up in chats. You'll see him hanging out on smaller channels, which is what I always respect about him. But you don't see a lot of the other guys do that. You're never gonna really see Comic Tom just
but on a smaller channel. See that to me doesn't count, and I'll tell you why. And I love Bueller. He gave me a shout out and helped me once, and he's a good guy. And we've talked a lot. And I know that I probably have a higher opinion of him than he does of me, which is fine. But but in general, that's all good and well, but you're not going to be on Bueller's channel. You're not going to be on Bueller's channel. So he may come in and watch you and say hello and be under his Travis T maybe account or whatever. He's going to come out and talk to you and hang out with you, and he may even see you in person or something and you guys cool and hang out, but you're not going to fit his brand. And he has a brand now and he has to protect that brand. So he can't have people that are unscripted on his channel. Yeah, he can't have a bunch of unscripted yahoos hanging out in his channel. And I think that's when it breaks the community. That's when you are a part of the community. You're participating in the community in various ways, but are you really a piece of the community, or are you just kind of stepping in and out and keeping your subscribers up? And does he consider it, you'd have to ask him, do you consider it work when you log in and try to make sure you leave comments on channels and keep it a little bit more back and forth? I would think that he would say no, but I would think other YouTubers, if they were being honest, would say yes. So I happen to think Bueller is one of the more real, if you will, people. But he's also selling his stuff, and he has
Well,
you
he's
know,
clearly he said himself that like he's now got to a point where YouTube is his job. Like he has
yeah,
said that.
yeah. So at that
Yeah.
point, are you still part of the community? Really? I mean, we still may like you and want to hang out with you and everything, but your channel, like as a person, he's a part of the community, but his channel is not really part of the community anymore. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like as an individual, he is, but the brand and business he's created is not.
I can't wait till I get to a point where you guys are no longer invited to my channel.
What about him, Russ?
You're not going to remember us little people when you're
Yeah,
up
the
there
usual-
at like 10K,
Unusual
Simon?
suspects will still be going, but it'll be me hanging out with Comic Tom
Wow.
and Jim Mint and
Ugh. I'd rather hang out with you two guys than them. So,
It's funny because it's like that too. Like a lot of the channels that have just started out in the last year or two that are right around that 100 sub mark, they view like I think they view channels that are 1,000 subs as like huge channels. Because I remember when I first started, I was at like 64 subs, and one of my friends turned out to be a really good friend, Lewis. Um, he had like 600, and the first time he commented on my channel, I thought it was like a huge, like to me, it was like a huge YouTube celebrity.
oh, dude,
Yeah.
when I first
So I
said
thought
Bob's mentioned
that's
my
like
name, I like
insane, and then
fanboyed
we
out.
ended up actually becoming friends.
I remember I can't remember what stream Bubs was on, but I was in the chat. And then he like yelled at, he's like, "Hey, SimpleSimon!" He's like, "I just started watching his channel," and I was like, "Oh my god, Bubs watches my channel."
yeah, you can still say that if you want.
But it's like it's weird because sometimes like I've got a lot of friends now that have started channels within the last couple of years, like Fanboy Prime, who found my channel like maybe a year and a half ago from like an old Superman collection video, and Neil's Comics and Video Games. It's like they seemed like generally surprised when I started watching like their videos and
Yeah,
commenting
of course.
back,
When you
and that
first
just
start,
kind of blew my mind. Like I'm just a fat dude showing nerdy stuff. I ain't never gonna change.
when you first start out, every little thing is such a big deal, you know.
Yeah,
Which is why it's good to support all the smaller channels because you know you were kind of there once.
yeah.
Um,
It's like I don't ever see like even if I get like 2,000, 3,000 subs, 4,000, probably never gonna happen. But even if I do, I'm still gonna be me, man. Watching as many channels as I can watch, and
Yeah, but
but
that's exactly what we're saying. You'll be you, but will your channel still be your channel?
because I
Like,
don't
what
think
about
I'm ever
all
gonna
the
like.
ladies start coming after you, Russ, because you've got 4,000 subs and you know.
yeah, I mean,
Like I don't think I'm ever gonna be like sponsored or anything where I have to like
you don't know
worry
that.
about having to like. Because even if I am, I like if I got like I don't know whatever a sponsorship, I would tell them that if I don't like their product, I'm going to tell them the truth.
Yeah, and I
So
think
you
that
don't
viewer
want to,
has that
yeah,
kind of integrity too. I mean, you can have a channel that has integrity. I'm
yeah,
definitely not saying that. I'm just saying that once you open your channel up to being purchased, to have airtime purchase and
yeah.
having, you know, sponsorships and things of that
Sponsored by
nature,
Manscaped.
yeah, I think it definitely, and then you're going to go through that period where you're denying it and you're like, oh no, I'm still me, I still do what I do, and it doesn't matter that they gave me money for this, it doesn't matter. Really, does it not matter? You don't think that changes your view of something when you get it for free versus having to purchase it? I mean, that it makes a difference.
I
So
mean, I wouldn't mind getting sponsored by M&M's because I actually love those.
yeah, and didn't you sit on a bottle of Mrs. Butterworth once or something like that? What was that? Some kind
No.
of streamer know you did. Oh, mouthwash. That's what it was.
Oh yeah. I put Listerine like on stream for like 6 hours or something.
Yeah, you should be sponsored by them.
Metarog was the first to shout out highlight. Yeah, Metarog was early on. I remember Sharon told Metarog about me. He was like, "You got to shout this guy out." So he shouted out my first giveaway, and that's where I first started to get a few. Like I know, trying to think of my earliest subscribers. Like Roger Wheatley was one of them. I know he entered my 100. I didn't have that many entries for my first giveaway, and I thought it was a pretty decent giveaway too. I gave away some decent books. Some of those books I wish I still had.
I think you were around for about a year before I found your channel, Simon. I think.
Yeah, well, I was around for about 9 months before I discovered comic book community. So,
Oh, we lost Bub.
yeah, his boss must have walked in on him.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I caught you on YouTube. What's going on?
Oh, he changed cameras.
There you go.
Welcome
Works
back,
out.
Bub.
I was terrifying Gray Man with my camera angle. He doesn't like to be like down and underneath guys like that. He gets, he's got what do you call that? A shell shock, where he's had some experience with that.
I thought it was pretty cool. Bueller won the Stan Lee Award, and there was a bit of a touching moment. He dedicated his win to Sam, talked about Sam for a bit, and it's pretty crazy thinking about. And I already knew this obviously before Sam passed, but obviously how he was like the OG comic book YouTuber. Like, it's a pretty cool. They should name the award the Sam's Tangled Web Award rather than the Stan Lee Award, if he was the guy who was doing it for 13 years and still didn't reach 1K subs. Like,
Oh, he never did.
no, he never did. Considering even because I remember when he passed, I was like saying, "Hey, we should." Like, I did the channel link. I was like, "Hey, we should get into 1,000 subs now." Because even though he was on Bueller's channel and stuff like that, like, yeah, he just never quite got there. Did I just kill the mood?
No, and I
No.
totally agree with you. I think overall, it kind of sucks, but there's a lot of people that have been on YouTube for a long time that are just not. I mean, it has to be something that people want to watch,
Yeah.
if that's what you're here for. But I think when COVID happened, it was much more. It changed everything, because then people got on here really just. I mean, it used to be there were no live streams, hardly any collaboration, anything like that going on in comics. And then all of a sudden it was like, well, we're all bored. We got nothing better to do. I've never, a lot of people had channels that had no content on it whatsoever, like no, recorded content in any way. And then they wanted to hang out, and we wanted to be friends and talk to each other. And, kind of, that's to me when the community started really building. And we've lost a lot of those people. I mean, not just
I've seen several channels I used to watch all the time.
Yeah, a ton of those channels were just, to me, COVID channels. They came around, people were
There was definitely the COVID generation, and a lot of those channels surpassed me so quickly, man.
Yeah, because they were more funnier. It's like I don't mean like specifically, but I mean, they had a group of people that wanted to hang out, and they all got to be really close friends. And I think one of the things that hurt some of the international channels, what we in America would consider to be international channels, was the time difference. So when the party's happening at a certain time, a lot of people overseas couldn't really join in at the same time because they were busy at work. So it changed some things. And then you had a lot of people that were going on live in the middle of the day. Like, I was off for a week and a half during COVID. That was it. So I was in the office working every other day. And it was just different, but a lot of people went straight working from home or weren't working at all. And they were going live at like noon. And I'm like, well, I can't participate in that party. Like, I can't be part of that party. I'm working. I'd want to be. I wish I could be, but I couldn't. So that happened a lot. Like, a lot of people were working from home or not working at all, and they were just partying all day on YouTube in the comic community. And that, that helps grow a channel when you're the only party at noon, and a lot of people want to attend. So I don't know, no excuses.
I'm always at work when you guys are partying. So
doesn't it suck? Like, I hate when I'm working and I'm like, oh man, I want to play, but I can't come out. The worst is
me and Gray Man are just like the complete opposites of like when he's doing his slingers, it's literally 4 a.m. here, and I'm like, I've done it a few times. Like, a few times if I've got time off work and whatever, like, yeah, I'll wake up at 4 a.m. to hang out with you guys, but it's not something I could do every week. So
I love the Slinger Show. It's my favorite. I like it better than Comigories personally.
Yeah, it's fun.
There you go, Gray.
It's my absolute favorite. And he gives me a hard time. He's like, oh, well, for it to be your favorite, you don't watch it. And do watch it when I can. Like, I want to be on it. Like, it's my favorite to be on also because I just love that group of guys, and Matilda is just hilarious. And so I want to be on it. But for me, it's like at 2:00 in the afternoon on a Saturday. Like there's hardly ever a time when I'm available for that, because especially now that I'm working from home, but even before, like during the week, I'm here all the time. And then when the weekend hits, man, I feel like a, rat in a cage, man. I got to break out. I got to get out. I'm gnawing at the bars, What's going on, K-pop? So it's like, I just got to get out of here, And so on the weekends, we travel. We're always running around. We go out of state. I take my wife, pretty much I drag her around to day trips at least almost every weekend. And so to catch me at 2:00 on a Saturday afternoon is rare. And I've tried to rewatch it, but this is my wife. I tried to rewatch it, but it doesn't work out because I'm jealous. Like I want to be part of the chat and I can't.
Yeah. Yeah, most of the time I have to catch it on the replay.
Hi, dear.
Hey, baby. What are you doing?
Oh, nothing. I'm on the YouTubes on Russ's channel, Simply Super with Russ and Simon. It's I call it the usual suspects -2, but
-2.
Yeah, minus me and Tony because we're not on there, so they can probably hear you. Say hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hey, Mrs. Bubs.
All right, you on your way home, honey?
Yes, I'm just leaving.
All right, come on home. Be careful. We'll eat some soup.
Okay. All right. I love you.
All
Have
right,
fun.
love you too. We will.
Okay.
All righty.
Bye.
All right.
Hey,
Back to
Kavi,
work.
what's up?
What's up, Cobb? How's it going,
What's up,
man?
And K-pop, if you didn't notice, Russ is back on a laptop, so it must have worked.
He laid down behind somebody's car behind a nice Honda Accord with a lovely lady stepping out of it. He had his coffee and his laptop, and he was outside of Target, and he just let the car hit him. And she paid for his coffee and his laptop, and then she made breakfast. So
No, that was the good old factory reset. Tried and true.
it worked.
I every now and then I'll catch. I haven't done it for a while actually, but when I used to replay Slingers, it'd be often when I'm like organizing my books and stuff. So I just have it on and I'll be here bagging and boarding or organizing stuff. And man, sometimes on that show it gets to a point where everyone is just yelling over the top of each other. It's chaos. Sometimes it is chaos.
Yeah. It's fun though. Like those bagging and boarding you do so early in the morning. Like I got nothing going on that early. I'm still asleep, I think, when those air.
Yeah, well, now you guys have we both had daylight savings. It's just like throwing everything off. Like doing this at 5 p.m. I'm sure is inconvenient for a lot of people.
I mean, if I was up,
Looks like you got a new
I
subscriber,
would want to be
Bub.
camera ready at 5 a.m. Thank you, Troy. Troy's reviews. I'm gonna look you up, buddy.
Hello.
He was on my 5-year celebration last August.
Was he? Was I on there?
No. I didn't actually like schedule it. I just went live and threw the link in the chat.
Yeah, that's always fun.
Yeah. Next year, for the 6-year, I think I actually put a group chat together and try to organize a little bit better.
6
So it'll
years
be
on
6
YouTube.
years next August will be 6 years.
Golly.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
getting close. I'm approaching my 4 years. So at the end of January,
Yeah.
4 years. I'm hoping I can hit those
So, man,
4,000 hours before then.
If I'm not
All right, I got
mistaken,
you.
that Lifetime Community Award was for 3 years or more on YouTube. So next year, me and Simon and Bub should all be up for that.
I've been on longer than 3 years.
Yeah, I know
Grayman
you've
should
been,
be here.
you've been here
too.
longer than I have, haven't you, Bub?
I think so. I don't know. Maybe not. I think it was 2018, August of 18, maybe, or it might have been August of
Oh.
17. I don't remember.
Wait,
Yes,
so you were
both of us are in August.
Yeah, I think that's when I put
So
my
we
first video
started
up.
maybe about the same time.
Okay, no, I must have mean January 2019.
There you go.
Thanks,
bud.
Raul. I appreciate you, man.
Everything is perfectly balanced again.
See, it's like people chat a lot. I know outside of the comic community, and like I try to, but it doesn't work out for me. So like often, like I'll send a text or somebody. Like there's only a few people that I call on the phone and talk to. Like Roger, I'll talk to Roger, DS, Silver Age Dave, and
Yeah.
but
There's
Raul
probably
every now and then
several.
he'll get a call from me, and Alex the Comic Quarter. Those are like the only personal numbers, and of course, which I kind of pull him out, but Jambo, because we're
Oh, yeah.
more local, so we actually get to hang out and talk, and we got stuff going on, so it's like more than just comic talk at that point. But that's it. That's a fairly small group, and when I say I talk to those guys, I only talk to them like once a month each, maybe on the phone. But I know some of these guys in the community, they're blowing each other up all day, calling on their way to work, and I don't know.
You know who used to video call me all the time? He hasn't done it for a long time, but a few years ago when I was at my old place, Escargo used to call me up. It'd be like,
no way.
It'd be like 1, 2 in the morning. He'd be like, "Hey, Simon, brother, check out this book I picked up."
Oh, it's awesome.
He'd be like partying and drinking with his girl and stuff. "Hey, this is my girlfriend," and he'd be like drinking at a pub and stuff. I'm like, "What the hell?" It was
That's
crazy.
cool.
Mostly I just talking like the group chats or text.
Oh, here we go.
There's like
What's going on,
several
Raul?
people from the
Hey,
community.
Joe, what's up? What you doing, son?
Oh, nothing. I'm just sitting here thinking about comics. What are you doing?
I'm just sitting over here thinking about comics, man.
Are you really, man? We got so much in common. We should call each other more often.
Yeah, I love comics. You love comics?
I love
Cameo by
comics.
Hialeah.
Man, comics are cool, man. Comics are the best thing ever, right?
Aren't
Comics
they?
Are cool, man.
Well, hey, listen, I'd love to talk, but I'm really busy. But hey, call me anytime.
Hey, I'm gonna go look at some comics. Are you? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Look at comics?
Yeah, I'm gonna look at comics. I'm gonna look at comics with pretty girls on them.
Me too. Bye.
All right, gotta go.
Gotta go.
Oh man,
That's my buddy Raul. We talk. Now I won't get another call for a month. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
he'll be because it'll be the delay. He'll be like still watching him talking to himself.
First cameo by Hialeah. Somebody send this show in to get graded. What's up, Comics by the Bay?
I'll be
And
the hater
Cobb
here.
said his
Look at-
4-year anniversary is in October.
Oh wow.
When in
And he
October?
forgot about it.
Oh, that's right. YouTube tells you, right? I feel
Does
like I
it?
had my 4-year anniversary.
No,
Yeah, it
I
tells you.
remember mine. I always do like a anniversary video where I show like clips from the year.
The only
best
reason I
of.
remember mine is because I have it in like I have it in like my milestones on my YouTube like bio page that nobody ever looks at.
That's highly.
They're like
What
the
a good
about
guy.
section.
There's more people I'd like to talk to, but I don't know that they'd like to talk to me. So I kind of leave
What
it.
about when people do the butt dial on Instagram? When I'll get like a phone call from one of the groups, I'm like, there's no way they're actually calling right now.
Yeah.
I do.
I always like, I don't know, for some reason when like the group chat gets like a video call, I always like get nervous because I'm more of like either talking like this or doing text messages. Like several people in the community have my number, but we only text occasionally instead of actually calling.
I video chatted Matilda a while ago. I remember.
Yeah.
At my old place.
I've had a few video chats with JPL Flash talking video games and stuff.
I miss him. He was one of my favorite people to play with on YouTube. Now we still talk on Instagram some, and we, we're friends on Facebook kind of stuff. And we used to game together too, back during COVID. So, but Oh well, it kind of happens that way. Still somebody I'd like to visit though. He's on
Yeah,
my short list
it'd be
of
cool to hang
people
out
outside
with.
the country to visit. I'll
What's
be
up, Silver
in.
Knight Kyle?
I'm gonna try and do something I've never done before, which is make a big deal about going to a convention, because everybody seems to make a big deal about going to a convention and I don't. So like I go to a convention and then I'll come home and then I'll see like a bunch of posts about all the people that got together at the convention. And I was like, man, I should have told somebody I was going, because you'll know like a third of the people in the picture and you're like, well, they wouldn't have minded if I showed up. You're like, that would have been all right. But I don't think about it. Like I don't coordinate and be like, we're going to stay in the same hotel. And like, they do all that stuff, and I've never done that. I've always just been like, yeah, so I'm going to be there next week. Or I'll be like, I was there. And then I'll get a bunch of messages like, you were there? Why didn't you come see us? I was like, I didn't know where you were. Like if I'd seen you in an aisle in the convention, I'd be like, hey, what are you guys doing later? But I was busy, so actually shopping for comics. Can you believe that? At a comic convention, the nerve of me, instead of making videos and interviewing, sloppily dressed cosplayers. I should have. What was I thinking?
I've got a Comic Con this weekend.
I know you got a big one. Yeah, he's got a big one.
It's Comic Con, Chris. Well, they've never done it before. They've always Comic Con's normally mid-year, and then they randomly announced. Only a month ago, they announced it. Christmas Comic Con.
Oh,
like
Christmas
out of nowhere.
Well, what's the one that you told me I should go to if I'm ever going to catch a con? Is that in like March
Comic-Con,
or something?
Could be Comic Con or Supernova.
Yeah, Supernova.
Yeah.
When is that?
That's normally earlier in the year. So yeah, around sort of end of March, April. Normally, I think it was around my birthday this year. So
Hialeah loves comics. We didn't know that, but now we know it. But that's me and Hialeah go kind of way back at this point. Couple of silly guys with better wives than we deserve. That's pretty much that's our niche. That's what we relate to. Oh, look at that. But yeah, I'm going to Charlotte. I'm going to do Heroes Con next year, and I'm doing the full con.
Oh, yeah?
Like I'm staying in the hotel that's right down there as part of the convention. We're going to be there for days. I'll be there every day of the convention and taking a full vacation to do it. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And that's one of the big ones.
Maybe we'll get a chance to hang out, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. If you're going to be, are you going to make it there? Or are you going to find it's like an hour, right?
I'm going to try, man. Yeah. No, Charlotte's maybe a 20-minute drive.
Oh shoot, you can Uber that sucker.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
That's it, Russ. Go for sure.
Yeah, you got to go. Well, it's expensive. It's one of the more expensive ones, but you got to go. Find a way. Start saving your bottle caps now.
I know the tickets. Well, when I went, it was $20, but that was like 8 years ago.
The tickets aren't too bad. The books are expensive. But
Russ hasn't been to a con since that, right? So I'm sure just being there would be an experience for him.
So I'm going to do that one, and I'm considering, and that one I'm doing with my wife. Like we're going to go, and she doesn't care. She's going to do the hotel mostly, but she's going to come and we're going to do it. That's Father's Day weekend. So it's a good way to get a little extra scratch for the weekend, because like I'll pay for the hotel and the tickets, but then while we're there, she'll probably buy my meals and stuff. So like, because it's Father's Day weekend. Oh, what are you doing? You got, buy me a hot dog, Mrs. Bub. So that's what'll happen. So it's nice that it coincides with that weekend. It's hard to tell me what I should or shouldn't be doing that weekend, right? Because it's Father's Day weekend. So I do what I want. So that's what I choose. And so she's real excited. We're going to have a big time, and she can't wait to stay downtown, because we usually stay like out of town. Like last time we went to Heroes Con, we stayed at a resort, and it was like an hour and a half away, and that wasn't as fun. So she definitely wants to hang out downtown and do the downtown scene and, party at night. So it's going to be fun. And then, so I'm do that all week, and I was thinking about doing Baltimore Con on my own.
Yeah.
And then I was also considering meeting up with my brother. He does New York Comic Con every year. So I was going to ask him to get me a ticket. He goes with his family. I was going to ask him to get me a ticket, and I'll meet up with him and do that. So I was thinking about doing that. And he actually lives in Baltimore, or Baltimore area. So,
do you know of anyone else who's going at the moment to Heroes Con?
No, that's what I'm saying. I've not done anything yet to organize myself, but this time I think I'm actually going to do it. This time I'm going to communicate out, tell everybody I'm wasn't there that one con you went and you hung out with like Dustin? Yeah, because he came to my con. So like the con in my area, Lexington, Kentucky, that's the one that he went to. So we hung out, yeah. And we did coordinate some, but he's kind of tricky to coordinate with. He's a little bit wild for planning, but his brother is a little bit more down to earth, kind of. Now you're saying, see, I know you're a local, but I grew up in the Bronx. So, I mean, I show up in New York City and as soon as my feet hit the ground, like I'm as local as it gets. I mean, that's hometown for me. So I don't need a map or anybody to help me get around. Like I shoot all over the place and I'll go to some of my favorite places to eat and then I'll come back. So, and I've driven up there. I've done the New York drive before from Kentucky to New York. It's like 16 hours if you obey the speed limit. And my fastest time was like 8.5. So I did that driving like 8.5 hours one time. I did it over a weekend. I left Friday after work and I drove straight and I hung out for a day and I drove straight back. And I made it to work Monday morning, like showing up basically in the same clothes I had on Friday when I left. Went straight to work. Good times. I was younger then.
Is New York Comic-Con the biggest one?
No, I would say San Diego's bigger.
San Diego's bigger.
I would say New York is probably second, and then maybe the one down in Florida. What is it? What's it called?
MegaCon?
MegaCon, I think, would probably be third, but those are not official numbers. It's C2E2, but man, I've thought about doing that, but I have a couple of problems with C2E2. One is that it's super expensive. Like it is one of the most ridiculously expensive cons for what you get. It's not as big as the other cons. It's not as, badass as the other cons, but it costs just as much as the big ones. And Chicago is a really expensive place too. And not for nothing, but about half the people that go to C2E2 that I see on YouTube, I'm like, I'd love to hang out with them. And then there'd be like 4 or 5 people that I would not want to hang out with that go to C2E2. Like I've never seen anybody at New York City Comic Con that I wouldn't want to hang with. I've never seen anybody at MegaCon I wouldn't want to hang with, or San Diego, or Charlotte, or Baltimore. But something about that C2E2 brings some of the nuts out of the woodwork, and I'm like, I want to hang out with that.
Old Wolf didn't Old Wolf hang out with everyone in C2E2? He was like a random one. Like it was all the usual suspects, and then all of a sudden Old Wolf was there, and I was like, whoa, that's cool.
Yeah.
I've heard that you have to enter like a drawing or something just to even try to get tickets to SDCC.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm not even fooling with that because I maybe someday down the line, but I really like the ones where I can shop comics, and that's going to be Heroes Con and BaltCon. Those are the two the largest comic centric cons in the country, where it's all about the comics. I
wonder who's going to be
artists and creators, but they don't have any no voice actors from some anime crap, like none of that. Like there's nothing, not even a scrap of that at those cons. So the Nutties.
I wonder who's going to be there.
I'm nutty enough. K-pop. I don't need any extra nuts. I'm enough nuts on my own. Oh well.
The artists at your artist alley, you don't have to pay for them, do you?
Yeah, some of them. Depends on the con.
Like for their signatures and stuff.
It depends on the con. It depends on the artist. But yeah, absolutely.
Because down here, the Comic Con, I mean, except for when we had like Kevin Eastman, I guess. But everyone else, they're just sitting there with no one at their table. Like I remember the first time I went to get a signed book. This is probably before I even had my channel. I went to Supernova and I went to get Nick Spencer's signature because I had his Spider-Man issue 1. And I walked up to him and he was at the table by himself, right? And I went right up to him and got him to sign a book. And next to him was Tom Taylor. And Tom Taylor had this massive line. And I was like, Who the hell's that guy?
What a noob.
I had no idea who he was. And now we're besties. I'll see him this weekend. So maybe I'll do an interview with him if I get a chance.
Do they like list their prices on the sites of how much they charge?
Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. So for some conventions, you can pre-purchase an experience. So you can pre-purchase a signature, one signed item, how many signed items you have. You can basically get a ticket to their experience ahead of time for some conventions. And then others, you just got to stand on the line and hope for the best. So that's kind of how it goes. And then when you get all the way up to the front of the line is when you can finally see the prices. And they put them on like the smallest font, like a half a Post-it note ripped, and you can't read it. So basically they just want you to ask. And then a lot of times, like Simon was saying that they're by themselves, but a lot of times at the bigger cons, they'll have a handler, what I consider to be a handler, and that person handles all the money. So you talk to that person first and you tell them what you want. And then they're like, okay. And then they're like, oh, and here he is. And you're like, oh, hello. And then she's already ringing you up and you get what you want done. And then you pay the lady on the way out, and that's kind of how it works most of the time.
That's different. Here, you actually have to go, if you have to pay for a signature, you have to go to this booth and you buy like these tokens for them. So you'll be like, oh, I want to get a token for Kevin Eastman.
Mhm.
And then you'll pay for that and then just take the token over there. Because the first time I ever went to a con, I went and got Christopher Lambert's signature. And
Oh, wow.
I was like, is this the line? And he's like, do you have a token? I was like, what?
Christopher Lambert from Highlander?
Yeah.
Yeah. There can be only one, Russ.
I got him to sign my Fortress DVD. But yeah, I was like, is this the line? And he was like, the guy was like, oh, do you have a token? I was like, what's a token? He's like, you got to go pay for a token. So I went and paid for it and then lined up.
That's how it is. For a lot of them,
they
do that.
So Fortress, I don't know if you guys know, you remember that movie Fortress that he was in about the prison? No, you don't. Oh, the prison, and they had like the things that they had to swallow, and if you pass the lines, they explode in your stomach and stuff. You don't remember that movie Fortress?
All right. Now, look, I may have seen it, but no, I don't remember it.
All right.
Is that fair?
Anyway, it was set in the future, but the future just happened to be that year that I got him to sign that DVD. So
Wow.
I made a little joke. I was like, oh, it's something about the year, how it's now. And he just looked at me like, he just gave me a look and then just went back down to signing. I was like, okay.
That happens too. And sometimes it's not always a great experience. I don't generally do the celebrities anymore. Like I haven't had too many. I've had enough okay experiences and a couple of bad ones and not too many great ones. So I kind of am only sticking with the more, artists. I don't really fool with writers anymore either. Like I haven't really enjoyed much experience getting signatures from writers. So I've kind of moved on to only artists, only cover artists of books that I already like, and that's it. Because sometimes you go and some of these modern artists, like I went to a convention in Knoxville a couple months ago and it was a modern artist. She'd only had like 3 books out, but they were kind of newer. And she wanted like $25 for a signature. I'm like, are you crazy? Like you should still be giving away free signatures. Like, I don't care what it costs to get here, that you're still trying to get exposure, like you shouldn't be out here charging $25 a signature. There's much better signatures I can spend my $25 on. And I brought books for her to sign because I had no idea how much it was going to be. And when I got there, I was like, nope. I just packed my books away and left. I was like, oh, whatever. Yeah, man, Fishcat knows. So Chad, he's got a ton of signatures on all kinds of stuff. He's a big sports
probably
collector
only
too.
like a few like celebrity signatures I would want. And I don't really know if you can call them celebrities anymore because they don't really do much. But I would love to get like Tom Welling and Michael Rosenbaum from Smallville because
Tom Welling comes to the cons down here.
Yeah, he does cons around here too. So does Michael Rosenbaum.
It would
They
be cool to
frequently
get
cancel
like
on cons though too. Like they'll say they're going to a con and then the weekend of they're like, yeah, we didn't make it. Like they're always like the Smallville reunion, and then you're like, then you show up and they're like, yeah, they canceled. They're not going to be here. Who the hell?
But like most of like I've got like Dean Cain and Terry Hatcher's signature on this Superman book.
That's
That
a
was
good
pretty
one.
cool. And like most of the like comic like artist or writers signatures that I wanted, I have. I've got George Perez. I've got Dan Jurgens. Like the only big one I would have like wished I would have got was a Stan Lee back in the day, but I never did.
Yeah,
Wouldn't
it's
mind
more
getting
fun to
like a
get
Jenny
us.
Friesen or something like that. But
I couldn't
mostly
line up
signatures. I don't go for a lot of signatures. I just have very
Jenny
few,
Friesen's
like, in the
line is
collection.
ridiculous. Like
Really?
Jenny Friesen was at Heroes Con last time I was there, and I was like, "What is this line?" And I was going to get a signature from Francesco Francavilla, and who I think is a ridiculously far superior artist for my taste than Jenny Friesen. But he's like an Italian guy or something, and barely, his English was rough, but we communicated okay. But I'm headed over to his line, and I can see him because I recognize the art. They have like the big banners go up like 10 feet behind him, so you can see the art. And you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go get his signature. And I had to walk, like nobody would even let me cut through the line to get to him. And it was all, I was like, who is this? And I look over, and it's a little girl wearing Lisa Loeb glasses sitting there signing. And I'm like, oh my God. And then I look back, and the whole line is filled with moon-faced guys, like just totally in love with her. And like, they're just holding their books, and they're like ringing their books. Like, I just want to meet her. I just want to say how much I enjoy her art. Oh my God. They're like totally in love with her because she's a cute girl. She was a nice looking lady and normal, she was cute. So for an artist, especially. So I was like, okay, I see what's going on here. I had to bypass that whole line. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I've never actually gotten like a signature in person from a comic book artist or writer. I've only
oh really?
Yeah, I found like ones on eBay that I want, and usually get them, like, try to get them as cheap as possible. But I've never actually like met an actual comic book writer or artist. I think it would be cool to meet Dan Jurgens, just because that was like my comics growing up, my era.
So, oh yeah. All right, we've reached the hour. Rusty.
It's been an hour already.
Yeah, mate. That always flies when Bubs is on.
Sorry about that.
Covered a bit of everything today. I thought it was good.
Yeah, it was a fun show.
Cool.
Maybe we need more guests next time.
I see how it is.
Yeah.
So first, time flies when Bubs won't quit yakking, and then we need to find some better guests. I get it. I should have held out for the 50th episode and made a big splash.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Oh, yeah,
50th, we'll do
yeah.
Maybe we'll do a party open invite or something.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Do a big like link in the chat kind of deal.
Hey, Raul loves comics. Did you guys know that? Hialeah loves comics. That's so refreshing to hear. We never hear that in the community. I would like to nominate him for the next award of the most lovingest comic lover that we have. The Comic Lover Award. I want to nominate him the Comic Lover Award. When you guys do your parody show for the awards, you're welcome, because I know that's going to be a lot of editing. But when you guys do your parody show for the awards, I would like to nominate Hialeah as the.
Oh, we're not going to be professional at edit.
Oh, no.
All right. Well, let's wrap it up.
There won't be any professionalism involved. You got anything coming up on your channel?
Me? No. I've been trying to have things coming up on my channel all week, but I'm having a hard time getting things to come up on my channel. I've just been a little busy with work and everything else. So
yeah.
But yeah, comic calls to come. I'll tease that, sure.
All right. What about you, Simon?
We've got the Comic-Con this weekend, so hopefully I'll have a couple of videos come from that. Interviews and Nerds Day outs and all that jazz. Bye, Lisa.
I think that's Gray Man's lady.
It is.
We won't hold that against her.
My channel. My channel is just like more of the same. I've got content planned that I have no idea when I'll actually film. I still need to do a couple reviews. I still need to do some retro game stuff for WWF Warzone, and I haven't really filmed anything lately. I did just recently do an entry for Crime Alley Comics, who's really close to 1K. So if you're not subbed up to Crime Alley Comics, go check his channel out.
Cool.
It was actually Grey Man. It wasn't Lisa at all. He created his other half.
Yeah, that's how it is.
Gray Man's running 2 channels at one time.
He catfished himself and didn't realize it.
I always knew that beard was removable, Gray Man.
Yeah. But growing it back's the hard part. Yeah.
All right. We're out of here.
All right,
Thank
that's
you everyone
it.
for hanging out today. It was a good one.
Hey, it's not your channel. It's not your
Yeah, I
channel,
know.
Simon.
I'm the co-host, mate.
Yeah, but you can't just announce that you're shutting it down. Russ has got to
he's
do
about
that.
I'm giving him the nudge. It's called the
He
nudge.
got the nudge. He's been nudged. Go ahead, Russ. Take it away.
I'll just leave it running for another hour. I don't mind.
no.
This is the Russ sign out.
Yeah.
Peace.
Cue awkward outro. Peace.